Hello there and welcome. Thank you for joining me for this is the first full moon of the year of 2020. Um, I want to just have us take a nice breath together. We're doing this live, obviously, and I'm just going to give people a few minutes to hop on before we get going into this. I hope you've had a good day. We've got ice storms here in Kansas. Um, I leave for Brazil in a couple of days, and normally I find it a little bit too hot there for me. But I don't think I'm gonna, I don't think I'm gonna miss ice storms too much. Um, what a week! What a week it's been! Gosh, what a week it's been already. 2020. We've had the fires in Australia, which I hope to God are abating somewhat. We've got the thing that's going on in Iran as well. I think with the spiritual life, it's important to walk the line between not maybe looking for problems, but also not sticking your head in the sand too. These things are going on; they're a reflection of the inner, outwardly manifested, and this is what it is. This is what it is. I see we've got some people joining, so hello to everyone. I'm gonna get started then. All right. By the way, I hope everyone watching in Kansas right now keeping warm, keeping safe tomorrow. I've heard somewhere between an inch and 16 inches going to fall tomorrow. Can you believe it? Where do people get this from? Um, anyway, let's take another breath together. Let's take another breath together. What I'm going to do, good evening everyone. What I'm going to do this evening, over the next hour or so, I'm going to speak briefly just to what I'm feeling about this particular full moon today. We're going to do a meditation to receive and just connect and align with that. And then if anyone would like to, in the remaining time I have, I'm very happy to take questions and do some mini readings for anyone that would like. Why? Why would I do both? What's the point in doing both? I believe that on powerful alignment occasions like tonight, or I should really say this period of 3 days, the wisest thing we can do for ourselves, for our family, and all of that is something that will get us connected, that will get us content and calm. And so yes, we'll have a meditation together. But I like to do the card readings because any type of experiential work we would do, metaphysics, is wonderful, except that when you've got something on your mind and winding you up and a question, it's really wisest and best to resolve and answer that question. So I'm going to do both. You don't have to stay around for all of it, of course. So it's the wolf moon tonight. Gosh, I remember when it was just called a moon. Just a few years ago, they just called it a moon, and it seems like in the last few years, a moon isn't good enough. It's not good enough for anyone, is it? So they've got fancy names these days, don't they? But it's a wolf moon today. We've got the lunar eclipse as well. I'm forgetting what the conjunction is right now, and honestly, I'm not particularly invested in that. What I am invested in is the connotations around a day like today. So we've got the moon. I normally prefer actually the new moon. I prefer it. It's quieter. Okay, easier to be with that. Easier to hear yourself with it. But this is a full moon, and with the full moon, everything gets amplified and magnified. A friend of mine texted me a couple of hours ago. She says, "How are you getting on with the full moon energies?" And I said, "Well, it would have been nice to sleep last night. I never sleep well on the full moons. I don't think I'm going to sleep well tonight either. But hey, with the full moon, you've got magnification. With the full moon in particular, with the moon in general, but with the full moon, you're getting the unconscious being brought to the surface, and it's disconcerting. It's disconcerting, and yet it's all going on anyway. I'm very interested in the levels of talk that are going on in there. The levels of self-talk from the more dense to the most uh, pure. Okay, they're all going on, and with the full moon, the stuff we don't want to think about, the stuff we don't want to look at, that gets brought up to the surface. And I think that's important. I think that's important, that it clear out. You know, I'm very interested in the timeline of things. So if we can accept that something will be brought up and it will leave and it will be diminished from us, okay, things that bother us, things that wind us up and so on, well, there's something we can work with, okay? Then it's less personal, it's less, we can get less emotional, more cool-headed about it. We associate the full moon, of course, with releasing. And if you've ever been at all involved with spirituality in any connotation, religion, any connotation, someone at some point is going to say about an issue you're having, oh, just let it go, right? Someone will say that. And I find it frustrating. I find it frustrating to hear people say that, because I feel it diminishes what someone is going through. And if you've ever let something go and really let it go, then I think it's probably the culmination of a series and sequence of things you've gone through and processed and so on, and then it's been let go because you have exhausted the energy behind it. Okay? You see, it's not a cognitive or mental function, right? People say let it go like it's that easy. It's like trying to unravel a ball of yarn just by thinking it. Okay? It doesn't happen that way. And so I think it's important to be compassionate with ourselves, to make the process of letting go and releasing that much easier, okay? With letting go, we're not trying to fix, we're not scolding ourselves, we're not criticizing, we're not regulating, we're not in denial. With letting go, I actually come at it from the opposite angle, where to let something go, we really have to look directly at it. Really have to look directly at ourselves. And so arguably you could say that the time of the full moon is the best time for that, because it's there in our faces, in our own sight, or through our friends, family, colleagues, through our manifestations, anything like that. It's right there for us to see. And so if we can sit through our own discomfort, which this evening, once we get going, is meant to support you with that, then these things leave us, we understand ourselves better, okay? And it becomes less a function of unconscious. Last thing I want to say before we get going, I'm hearing this word struggle a lot, and in its opposite sense. You know, we are, and this is all of us, this is the collective, we are together releasing a great amount of restrictive patterns in the speed that we can, right? In the speed and process that we can. And you know, you might wonder, well, why don't they just take it all away from us? Why don't they being love, spirit, guides, angels, whatever, why don't they take these restrictive patterns away from us? And the answer is that, an answer is, we're so used to these things, and it's us holding on. And if you take away something too quickly from us that we're used to, we get disconcerted, we lose our place, as it were, we lose our footing on let's just call it our path, let's just call it on moving forwards. And so if there's a relationship between, let's say, love, God, and spirit, and us here in the third dimension, what we're ready to let go of and what we're ready to move into. And it's an ever shifting and changing dynamic with that. Words. And you know, the other funny thing I thought about is, what about the people that don't do things like this? You know, they get through the full moon just fine, don't they? And it's true. But you know, we do things like this so you don't need to move the energy in such a charged way, okay? We do things like this so you don't have to have the odd argument, or you don't have to stub your toe. A great amount of energy moving from us and through us at the same time. and that's the full moon. All right, all right. Um, so you probably can't see it because I didn't set the camera up particularly well, but I've got a couple of little toys I'm going to be playing with as we go through this. I don't know exactly when I'm going to use them, but I am. So why don't we take a breath together? Obviously we're on Facebook Live here, but let's close our eyes. I'm not going to close my eyes, but you close your eyes. And let's just begin. The most important way of all, let's take a breath. Let's say a prayer together. Beloved Mother, Father, God, Goddess, sweet pure essence of love, of light, of vibrancy, that which animates us, connects us, the truth of that which we are. We call on that in this moment to be magnified through us as we connect beneath us to the Mother Earth, as we connect above us to the Father Sky, and we acknowledge our place as a bridge, a conduit, uniting heaven and earth in the unique way that we have chosen to be. And we call upon our higher self, and I call upon the higher selves of all that are connecting at this time and will do in the future. In deep appreciation that we can connect in this way, that we can bring forth grace for ourselves, for our family, for our community. And we call forth the greatest blessing for our meditation at this time. We say Amen. And with your eyes closed, would you bring your attention to your chest and to your heart, please? And all that we're looking to do right now is breathe. And feeling your shoulders rise and fall, your chest expand and contract. All we're looking to do is be here and now. And feel into the silence between the words that you're hearing from me. Feeling into the silence which births all that there is. And the sounds and the words are islands within that ocean of connection. Just as our choice to connect and be together at this point is an island in the ocean, that is this lunar eclipse, that is this full moon period. As we breathe, and we let our stomachs relax, and with every breath and every second that passes, we move into alignment. With every breath that you're taking, you're paving the way forwards with grace. With every breath that you're taking, you are unraveling discord, unraveling disharmony, unraveling dis-ease. And you breathe. And the more you unwind into this, the truth of essence is given space to manifest, to be. And in our choice to take this time this evening to come together in this way, we acknowledge the harmonious flow of nature, of the earth, of the planets, of which we are participant within. Of which we are microcosm within. And we breathe. I shall do a brief work with sound here. Please be with your own space, your own experience. The sound is just to allow a medium for energy to travel through, to connect with easier for you. Bring your attention to your hearts again. Let's keep our eyes closed. As we choose to come together in this way, and we alleviate the restriction of separation around us, you cannot do anything but focus the direction of our manifestation by our soul's will. In simple and plain terms, that is to say, you will get what you want. It is a given. And let us remember, we are not here just for what we want. We have come as a collective, incarnated together. And even at these times that you may call either magnificent or terrifying, both could be said to be true. We're at the precipice of great change, an incredible year. And so, with your hearts open, your soul given a little more permission to manifest through your body than usual, let the flame of healing of that love be directed out from you to go where it is needed, and it is needed. Let the magnification of this full moon amplify that to go where it is needed. And it is needed. Let your mind guide it if you will, because you all know people, places, situations that require the congruence of love. To bring into divine order. You all know someone or someones that are suffering, that are caught and lost under the veil of illusion. Excessive attachment. But if you can see their situation, or a situation, with a cool-headed love, let this go to them now. And you are the angel that they have called for. Would you feel your feet on the ground? Your body where it touches the chair upon which you sit. Remembering that the spirit that you are has chosen the body that you have. The location that you dwell. And the planet that you live. You've chosen your immediate community, the greater community, your family. All of it a choice to bring you to alignment on this full moon. Take a breath. Let's have a smile, a big smile. feel what happens when you smile. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I want to, no, that came out wrong. I would like to offer you a suggestion, two suggestions. Because we do things like this, it's never just about right now. It's about really the next couple of days from now is when you notice, oh, it's the full moon, you know, or it's one of those days or one of those weeks. So with that in mind, I just want to suggest a couple of things. And first of all, we're in full moon energy, okay? We're in amplified moon energy. Your intuition is going to be a little more noticeable. Can I suggest to you that you pay a bit more attention than usual to it and follow through on it? Follow through on it. Follow through on it. You know, there's never going to be that time when everything lines up and you've got the time and situation, people to reflect on your intuition. No, it happens on the fly. It works on the fly. You learn it on the fly. And now is as good as any time to do that. I really am noticing with myself, with other people that I'm listening to, that I'm watching, that the veil is clearer, intuition's getting magnified, and so watch it, play with it, use it, follow it through. That's the first thing. The second, you know, when people say, how are you, how's it going, whatever, and you're like, oh, great, good. You know, there's that automatic response. Can I suggest that you give a somewhat more authentic or truthful answer to that? And yes, don't get me wrong, there is a line between gratuitous oversharing and the default that doesn't want a deeper conversation, okay? But at the end of the day, every time that you reply fine, good, not bad, or whatever to that question, at the end of the day, you're at least lying to yourself, okay? And that's fine. Yes, I said it. It's fine. It's just that when we're inauthentic with ourselves, we are shrinking this connection, okay? And ideally, we don't want to do that. I'm saying you can set your boundaries and give an authentic answer to that. Just suggesting that you play with it a bit. When we don't give an honest answer to how are you, I think it's because we're worried about burdening someone with energy that we don't want to be feeling. The thing is, you can give an honest answer and hold the energy of that, okay? We don't have to dump energy on someone to give that oh, I'm having trouble with words today, forgive me, to give that answer honestly. And really, if we can hold the energy of how we're feeling and speak to it, that's tremendously responsible, and we are teaching the person that we're talking to, we're modeling responsible behavior to the person we're talking about. Oh dear, I'm not getting the words out right. But it's being responsible with our energy and with our words. It's what I'm trying to say. So watch intuition. You'll see it's stronger than usual, or easier than usual. And what's your response to what's your response to the "how are you" question? Okay. All right. If you joined me this evening for the meditation, I'm complete with that for today. Do forgive me a little bit bumpy today, but got through it, didn't we? Like I say, I am going to open up for questions, questions that are on your mind, on your heart. If it's the first time you are with me for mini readings, I use tarot cards. Um, I can talk to you, but I can only see what you type. All right. So if you have a question about yourself that I can give a brief answer to, I am more than happy to. If it's your first time with tarot, let me just be clear. Any type of reading, any type of divination, it's all about the connection, and we use the tool to give voice to that. What's with your car braking today? All right, that's straight out the gate. Karen, all right, just give me a second here, love, okay? Your car, I'll get to you, Donna, I'll get to you next, okay? Karen, your, I can't remember if you're into tarot cards or not, but straight away out the gate, we've got the Eight of Swords there. Right, so the Eight of Swords is about, the Eight of Swords is about the illusion of confinement. Now, let me be clear, your car's broken down, that's very real, okay? But when machines break down around us, it's because they're trying to get our attention. Your spirit's trying to get our attention. That hurt more than it meant to. But it's what they want you to see, and I appreciate you asking the question, by the way. What they want you to see is that the constriction is your own choice, okay? And I haven't spoken to you for a while, but I'm getting the feeling of this, okay? Like just like blinkeredness, single point focus, and that's what they're just trying to shock you out of. Now, it's you're done with the worst of that. Okay, we've got cool-headed. Yes, I get the flat tire, but you're done with the worst of it. You've got the cool-headed. Let's just call it 270-degree vision of justice and the fun and community that come from it. I don't know what's happened with your car, but I bet people have come together about it. Okay. I'm starting to lose track of all the comments now, so so let me. I hope that's okay, Karen. I now just need to find out where I was here. So, okay, Donna. Okay, Donna, reading for the year for you. Okay, it's gonna have to be a quickie, all right? Okay, Donna, we've got a lovely year ahead for you, all right? Just because it's a one-way conversation, as it were, right now. What I did is I just looked at it in terms of seasons. We got 4 seasons of the year. We're in the first one. That's how I'm working with it. Season 1, if I can just give you snapshots here, or sound bites rather. Please celebrate yourself, okay? Accomplishments, abilities, the abilities to receive an idea and pay it forwards. As we're into spring and early summer, there's more coming, okay? More ideas, more opportunities. Don't feel you have to rush it. Don't feel you have to rush new things. Let them grow, okay? So just because you have the idea or ideas, you don't have to put them into form and into action. As we're getting into late summer, early early fall, the fruits of that is starting to come through. So allow like a 6 month trajectory there, because I know you like to think about helping people and doing things and so on. And as we're into as we're into as we're into winter, so getting on for like 9-10 months from now, it seems like everything you're looking to do is maturing. Okay, can go further, will go further, but I get this feeling of solidity. If I can give you a sentence or two for the year to tie that all up, it's don't take things so seriously. Okay, I'm not saying clown around, joke around. I'm not saying that, but to remember the distinction between the very real distinction between seriousness and discipline. Okay, you're a tremendously disciplined person. You don't have to be so serious with it. With a bit more levity, you navigate out of the disappointments of life that come to us all, don't they? They say disappointments are the hooks on which God hangs his greatest triumphs. So I know that's very quick, but it's a good year. It's a good year for you, Donna. Okay, Nikki. Okay, will you get settled this year? Sorry, doing my best here. It's not. Okay, settle with relationships, locations, finances. Nikki, all right. Nikki, settled with everything but location. Okay, location, that seems to still be a sticky thing for you. I haven't talked to you for a while, but that's all it is. And this may not happen tomorrow or this week, but finances seem to be solid this year. So don't worry about that. Location, I think you might just have to easy for me to say. Might have to just ease up on the control about that. Sometimes we get, I can speak for experience here. Sometimes we get moved around. Spirit wants us in certain places for certain times. We don't see the rhythm or rhyme or reason behind it until much after the event. But relationship seems to settle, and so do finances. And 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay, Savannah. You took a job offer starting on the 18th. Is this a good path? I take it you mean 18th of December. Savannah, I'm not delighted about this job path. Sorry, I can't speak to you right now about this, but it's not dreadful. But I do think there's another one for you. Okay, so if I can just say to you, don't feel like you got to jump ship or anything like that. That might not even be an option. But if you're talking about a long path, I don't recommend this job that you're in right now. Okay, I'm sorry to be so blunt and direct about that. Okay, I've got Homer here. Hello, Homer. What direction should you go for your annoying back pain? I'm gonna take what you mean for the question there. That what support do you get from it? What support and direction? I wish you were somewhere near Donna, Omar. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Omar, I think you can. I think you can address this by yourself. Actually, first of all, just to say, we got the Ten of Swords showing up here, which funny, they're all on his back, aren't they? But one thing about the Ten of Swords is that whatever that is about, it's as bad as it's going to get, which means it can only get better, right? So, would you look into doing some stretches? There's that type of chair, you know, where you go upside down, and I wish I knew. There's a name for it. There's like a really fancy name for it, but you can actually stretch and sort of elongate the muscles. That's what I'm seeing here. On the spiritual side of things, before it manifests into the physical, as it were, there's something that's wanting to get through you, okay? And you're not letting it enough. And so we're working with two things, right? We're working with the spiritual in terms of the inclination of allowing the energy, ideas, guidance, and so on through, and on the physical to support the greater vessel to be more flexible and fluid. But I don't think you need to go for treatment. Give that a shot for the next week and see how you go. Okay, Suzanne, is there anything you need to know tonight? Inversion table, yes, thank you. Sorry. Is there anything you need to know tonight about where your energy would be more fully needed or utilized? Okay. Oh, right. Well, that was simpler than I was expecting. Suzanne, yes. Your energy, this might be a bit more of a boring answer than you wanted, but your energy is better off with family, better off. No, let's just broaden that a bit, okay? My mind wants to say family, like husband, kids, and so on. And I'm not saying it's not that, but let's just broaden it to include family, like friends, like work colleagues, and so on. You know, we spend a lot of time with them. But I'm just saying, to the people that you care about, that care about you, your energy is better shared and dispersed amongst them, as opposed to, dare I say it, doing spiritual things. Your energy is better off with people than it is solely in your own head. Now, I'm glad we did this tonight, for the sake of aligning and making a vessel congruent and so on. Good thing. But important to be with people, important to be with community, gives us a good, let me just get the words out, gives us a good reflection of who and what and where we are at a given moment, reality checks and all of that. So there's nothing fancy you need to be doing if that's your concern, but to be with people, it brings things out of you, okay? Verena. Hi, Verena. Okay, would it be best? Okay. I'm sorry that took a while. I actually recommend, Verena, you let them. I know we got semantics here, but let them in. Um, I think you will find there are more reflections of you with them than you right now think that there are. But actually, with holding, it doesn't look like it's helping. And and actually. Um, you've got the support of Saint Germain with this, if that means anything to you. And what also shows up here is the Ace of Cups, which is for me a new cycle of emotional intelligence getting to express. And there is a maturity in opening up to people that we're a little apprehensive with, you know. So I would, I would, I don't suggest keeping your guard up, if that makes sense. Um, I better move on. Cheryl. Hiya, Cheryl. Um, okay. Cheryl, what's up with your right knee? Um, the short answer is quite a lot. Um, so it seems like it seems like sorry. I'm just we've got um, we've got overwhelm, indecisiveness, and abandonment moving through there. Okay, that's all moving through. These don't look like long term things, but they got to move through something. Okay, and um, it's like let's just sorry. I just want to speak to the indecisiveness for a moment, and forgive me if that's I don't mean that in a pointed way. It's more that it's more like things aren't getting grounded. They're so close to the earth, but it's like you pay attention, then you lose focus. You pay attention, you lose focus, and I don't know why it's hitting the knee, but it's hitting the knee. It's like keeping you back. Um, I sort of need a longer conversation with you than this. But I think from what I'm seeing here, give it 3 days or so. I don't think it's going to be bugging you as much. Okay. Um, yeah. Also, I'm like 5 minutes away from you right now. I'm in DeSoto. Okay. Right. Okay. Renee, does Source want you to know? Um, right. Renee, um, what Source wants you to know? Let's just start with you're in the right place. You're where you're supposed to be. You're who you're supposed to be as well, and you're on. Let's shall we call it? Um, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Let's just call it spiritual mission. Okay. Um, let me just go a little further and to say the if there's something to be unwound, I like that expression. If there's something to be unwound, it's the feeling like you don't have a choice. It's the feeling of uh, resigning to how things are, rather than I don't mean pushing through, but visioning yourself through. That's what I mean. Um, oh, you asked what's coming up for you. I've only answered one of your questions. Um, let me just say something tangentially to you, okay? You are, and I'm saying this as a person now. I'm saying this as me. Renee, you are a very loved person. You I know that, and me right now, I'm going to encourage you to feel more like, to internalize more. I mean, encourage you to see yourself through our eyes, as it were, people that know you, okay? Which is an unusual thing to say, and it's counter to what a lot of spiritual teaching is, but I think it would help you be you more. Um, I want to honour your other question too. Rennie, front and center is financial opportunities. Okay, don't get to say that all the time. Um, a shift into what you really more of what you want to be doing, making money how you want to be making money. I'm not saying you don't, but there's more of it. There's definitely a step up. Okay. And that's as brief as I can. That's I'm going to have to be that brief right now, so I'm getting short on time. Okay, Tiffany. Okay. Wow, battling cancer's 3. Okay. I have such a short amount of time to answer your question right now, Tiffany, and I'm sorry that it's so tough. I really am. And you are succeeding in you're battling it, okay? um, that's what I'm being shown to remind you, and this is hurting, and this is hurting your heart, yet it's opening up that space too. Now, this is easy for someone that's detached to say, and I don't want to be dispassionate here. So given this is a one-way conversation right now, Tiffany, I want to say, please keep on going. Please keep on going. You're a tremendously strong person. That's backwards, isn't it? It's the card of strength. You're a tremendously strong person. Please keep going. You are supported. You're very powerful. And you're getting somewhere. I'm sorry I have to be so brief and so vague here. Maybe this wasn't the best avenue for that question. Okay. Michelle. Okay. So what energy get about a joint venture with my sisters? Michelle, this looks good. This looks good. Um, um, allow, allow. If I'm going to say allow it, if I'm going to say allow time to allow a bit of time, allow it the time it's going to take. I don't mean that there's going to be delays. I mean it's like baking a cake, okay, or or being pregnant with child. You know, a beautiful time like that. Um, uh, remember, just because you're related doesn't mean you have the same skill set. Um, doesn't mean each of you presents the same way, and but I do see success there for you. Okay, so more power to you. Go do your diligence, of course. All these things that I would say, anyone would say, but it looks great. Looks like everyone gets what they want. So wonderful. I can do. Um, okay, Becky, this is going to be the last question. All right. Will you get your schooling finished ahead of schedule? Um, Becky, it's not looking like you will at this time. Okay, let's remember readings like this. They're not static, and you can shift that. You might have asked the question so you could hear that answer. But right now, it doesn't like it's going to get finished ahead of schedule. If there's something you need to do, I do see the card. I do see a card of beginning cycles, so I feel like you've got some wiggle room in that. But at this moment, it doesn't look like it's going to finish ahead of schedule. I'm sorry to be so blunt there. All right, I'm going to call it there. I do think parameters are important. If you're still on with me, let's just take a nice breath together. And I would like to just send out the intention of peace, of calmness, of contentment, safety, unity to each of you, to everyone that you come across in these next few days. I send out the intention of enjoyment, of enjoying what you do, enjoying who you are. Send out the intention of seeing magic, delight, and wonderment in mundanity, in the everyday, in the solid and in the physical. I send out the intention that you be receptive to your greater self, to your greater presence, to the love of Spirit, God, angels, and all that wishes well for you. All right. Well, I'll say goodnight. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you very, very much. Be safe. If you're in the Midwest anyway, we have ice storms on the way. Be safe, God bless, and bye-bye for now.